Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, some popular businesses in Torrance are closing. We'll give you the details.
And we'll tell you why marking up your car is actually a good idea.
Then we'll show you why the sale of drop-side cribs has been banned.
And if you think your vision is getting worse, we'll find out why it may not be because of age. These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. They escaped closure before, but can they escape once again? 5 South Bay post offices, including the one at Torrance's Del Amo Fashion Center, are being considered for closure by the U.S. Postal Service. The agency will again study cost versus savings regarding these locations. Last year, the post office lost $8 billion in revenue and has reduced its staff by 130,000 employees. But fans of the post office can expect to see many more of them close in the future. Instead, several post offices will be replaced by smaller outposts in stores like Hallmark. These village post offices may not offer a full range of services, but about 85% of all transactions simply involve buying stamps.
Well, Ben, here are some highlights from the most recent City Council meeting. Council reminded the city that August 2nd is National Night Out. The event encourages residents to come out of their homes and meet their neighbors and also meet local law enforcement. Several neighborhoods will gather to foster these relationships at block parties throughout the city. These gatherings have proven to be effective in crime prevention. And these exchange students are not from our sister city in Japan. They are from France and come as part of the Rotary of Del Amo Youth Program. Now, for 3 weeks, the two 15-year-olds from Lyon, France, will learn about the U.S. in an effort to promote cultural awareness and goodwill. This program has been taking place in Torrance for the last 40 years. Councilmember Susan Rillinger will represent Torrance at the 2011 League of California Cities annual conference. Council approved the recommendation by the city manager's office. The conference takes place at the end of September in San Francisco. The Centennial Committee filed their quarterly report at the meeting. Lori Love, chairperson of the committee, reviewed their most recent activities, like their appearance as part of the All-America City delegation in Kansas City. They also reported on the progress of the Lights, Camera, Action event happening on November 6th. More than 800 people have already signed up, but the historic aerial photograph can accommodate up to 3,000. Love recommended everyone to go to torrancecentennial.org to register for this exciting event. The committee also accepted $28,000 in donations. $3,000 was donated by Gerber Ambulance, and a $25,000 donation was accepted from Toyota Motor Sales. To date, the Centennial Committee has raised more than $156,000 in private donations. The city will donate another $50,000, bringing the most recent total to $206,000 in Centennial funds.
A major road in Torrance just got prettier. Workers are finishing up the Western Avenue Beautification project, and part of the project will welcome drivers into Torrance. To do that, the city has installed a Torrance sign. The sign is the last element in the project that runs along Western Avenue between 190th and Carson. River rock paving, trees, and decorative fencing were completed earlier this month.
For 60 years, Marie Callender's has been making pies and serving family-style meals, but now one of their Torrance restaurants is no longer serving the community. The location at Hawthorne and Lomita closed last week. Marie Callender's has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, and their parent company closed 31 restaurants in 8 states recently. Of the 31 closures, 13 occurred in California, including the one here in Torrance. There are no plans to reopen that restaurant. However, the other Torrance location at Hawthorne and Torrance Boulevard will remain open. Company restructuring is expected to be complete by October 21st. At that point, more locations may be forced to close.
Another popular place will shut their doors in Torrance, and shoppers aren't happy about the news.
People there are as disappointed as I am that they're closing for good. I think they thought, like I did, that they were just downsizing the store, so everybody was asking why they were closing for good.
Unfortunately, the signs don't lie. The Borders location in Torrance will soon close, although There is no official date. The company is offering markdowns of up to 40% on their inventory. They're even selling off fixtures, and despite not selling enough for so long, the store is seeing a lot of traffic as consumers snap up book bargains. Up next on This Week in Torrance, we'll show you an unusual way to protect your car from theft.
And we'll tell you what's causing a common vision problem. Those details are coming up after the break.
And let's take a look at the sights and sounds from the recent Rock Around the Block party in downtown Torrance.
We'll say I do, and we'll never be lonely anymore.
Bringing back those 50s.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
How's your restaurant?
Because we're going to the chapel and we're gonna get married.
So my uncle calls and he says he's dizzy and he's losing his balance. I'm like, Unc, you want me to take you to a doctor? He's like, no, I'm gonna look up the symptoms. I said, your symptoms are you're dizzy and you're losing your balance. So he said, I can't get on the internet because my arm is numb. I said, well, use your good arm and dial 911. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love is showing symptoms of stroke, don't wait because it might be too late. Dial 911. Time lost is brain lost.
Along with weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
Working outdoors may be the ideal way to spend the summer. During an ongoing program, volunteers can also grow their knowledge of native plants. Reporter Jennifer Wade explains.
School's out, but Torrance students are still focused on their education. The spirit of volunteerism is present at the Medrona Marsh.
I think it's good to get the hours in and help, even though it is on a Saturday. It's summer, so we don't have school, and I'd like to help out.
South High sophomore Daniel Hart is working towards completing the 20 hours of community service Torrance Unified School District requires. Like many students, Hart chose to complete his hours by helping the Medrona Marsh Restoration Project.
So the reason we call this restoration is we're taking out the non-native exotic species and planting native plants in their place to restore it back to what it should be.
These native plants will encourage biodiversity. It will increase the variety of organisms that live here. We've already seen that effect in place here.
Students work hard to restore the reserve.
We had to clear out all the non-native plants. And then we also had to get these mustard plants because they take down the sunflowers.
So we've done anything from propagating seeds in a plant nursery to working in a field removing invasive species and weeds to working on irrigation projects.
While most volunteers are from local schools or service clubs, all ages are welcome. And so far, the volunteers are satisfied.
I really like this program. It helps me see what we really need to do in our community and help the plants and birds all who come and migrate here. It's nice for them to have a place to come.
Oh, it's nice. I like getting outdoors, help the preserve.
Certain volunteers, like college freshman Elisa Tamara, have dedicated over 50 hours of service, are part of an advanced restoration crew. With this title comes extra responsibilities.
When we're planting native plants, sometimes we'll go around and watch and do quality control.
Volunteers also get a hands-on educational experience that goes far beyond the classroom.
Because we don't just do the restoration, we also include an educational component at the end, where for the last 30 minutes of each Saturday, we take them and we do a little nature walk or a little lesson on outdoor recreation so that they can become more aware of the environmental issues in their community.
The Medrona Marsh is currently looking for restoration volunteers, Saturdays from 8:45 a.m. to noon. This is Jennifer Wade for CitiCABLE.
For more information on events happening at the Medrona Marsh, go to friendsofmadronamarsh.com.
Scratching your car is something most of us try to avoid, but it may actually help safeguard it from thieves. Reporter Shantae Passmore shows us an unusual way to secure your vehicle.
Making our cars look less attractive doesn't cross our minds as car owners, but doing so can actually help you when you least expect it.
Fernando Zamora learned this the hard way. 30 years ago, his car was stolen from his driveway. When police found Zamora's car, he could barely recognize it.
I found out that it was torn apart. You know, they take out all the parts, and it was like useless when I found it.
And Zamora is not alone.
The Auto Club recognizes that vehicle theft is like one of the #1 property crimes.
That's why AAA, along with law enforcement agencies, are working together to help prevent auto theft with a free program.
What this event here today is, it's actually etching the vehicle identification number, commonly referred to as a VIN number. They're etching the VIN number into all of the glass of the vehicle.
In the event the car is stolen, it is another way for the officer to identify that the car is the car that it is, or that it is stolen if the other VIN numbers or means of checking have been taken off.
Thieves change the VIN number to make the stolen car untraceable. Most often, the car is torn apart. From there, individual parts are sold on the open market. But etching your car windows with its VIN number offers more protection than you think.
It's a visible deterrent. When they see that etched number on the window, on the door, they can't sell that door. They'll have to change the glass. At that point, it becomes an expensive issue for them, you know, to put in new glass and change it all around to match the VIN number on the car that they're going to put it on.
The license and registration, we have them fill out a form. We look at we match the number.
We have drivers coming in, pulling in up through the line. We have them fill out a form. We take their VIN number.
And then AAA checks the VIN number 4 times for accuracy before making stencils.
107094.
Yes.
Skeptics might think that VIN etching will ruin their car's appearance or obstruct their driving view. But each etch is only a 1/4 inch high and no more than 2 inches long. Plus, the lettering is light that only car owners and law enforcers will know it's there. And thieves shouldn't remove the etch from the windows.
It'll leave a big blurry spot. No one wants to buy a car with windows that have, you know, spots on them.
And no one wants to wake up to a missing car. So this minor protection can do a lot of good.
Of course, I feel strongly that this will protect my car, and the police will easily catch you.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Shantae Passmore.
Thank you, Shantae. To find the next VIN window etching location, go to AAA.com.
Hand-me-downs can make life a little easier for new parents, but before you pass down certain items, you may have to consider their safety. Reporter Jacqueline Shepard explains.
What has cradled babies for decades is now a thing of the past. In the last 10 years, more than 30 children have died as a result of faulty or broken crib parts. Now the Consumer Product Safety Commission has banned the manufacture, sale, or resale of any drop-side crib.
As of June, you can no longer sell any cribs, resale cribs, that have not been manufactured before June 28th of 2011.
In most cases, children were able to move the drop side by shaking it or jumping up and down in the crib. This would create a gap between the mattress and the side rail, allowing children to become trapped and suffocate.
I learned about it in December of last year, and then we had the option to either accept drop side cribs or not, and we just erred on the side of safety for the children and stopped taking drop side cribs.
Carol Fisher is the owner of Children's Orchard, a resale store that buys baby clothes, toys, and furniture directly from owners. The ban has not only affected customers looking to sell a crib, but also those looking to purchase one.
I don't have cribs. I haven't had cribs since December. And I can buy new, but now I'm waiting to purchase new cribs because the manufacturer date has to be June 28th. So it's a little further down the road before I'm going to get cribs. So it affects my selling customers as well as my buying customers.
Most immobilizers will lock the drop side in the down position, making the crib more of a bassinet. If you want to make sure your child is safe from rolling out in the middle of the night, it would have to be locked in the up position.
Well, when the child's just about to move to a bigger bed, then you can screw it in the down position so that he or she could come and go as they please.
Though not sanctioned by the CPSC, use of the additional brackets may prevent gaps between the bed and the mattress. In an effort to make sure your child is safe, the Consumer Product Safety Commission also urges you to check the CPSC's recall list to make sure your crib has not been recalled, and to check all cribs hardware often to make sure there are no missing or broken parts. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Jacqueline Shepard.
As Jacqueline mentioned, not all drop side cribs have been recalled. To learn more, visit the Consumer Product Safety Recall List at cpsc.gov/info/cribs.
If you feel like your vision is getting worse, it may not be related to aging. Most jobs require us to stare at a computer screen every day, and that's causing a new medical problem. Reporter Shantae Passmore has the story.
I'm on the computer anywhere from 9 to 10 hours a day. Yeah, and a lot of times I work through lunch.
Working on the computer all day, she complains of having tired eyes by day's end. And it turns out it's actually a condition to take seriously.
Computer vision syndrome is a group of eye and vision problems that are the result of prolonged computer use. Generally, we're talking about someone who is on the computer continuously for 2 hours or more. If you looked at a company where everybody had to be at a computer all day long, every day of the week, Monday through Friday, they're going to have probably an incidence of maybe even 50% or higher of computer vision syndrome.
Symptoms related to computer vision syndrome, or CVS, include blurred vision, dry eyes, headaches, and even neck and shoulder pain. While Jimenez's vision is fine, she visited Dr. Chun after experiencing some of the symptoms. The solution? Prescribed glasses for computer use only.
We try to categorize visual demands into 3 distinct distances. One is long distance. The other distance that's important is the close-up reading distance. We have a third distance now because of societal demands with the computer use, and that tends to be about 20 to 28, as much as 30 inches away.
And CVS isn't something that should be taken lightly.
The most common problem we see is that they may develop higher amounts of nearsightedness, or they may develop nearsightedness if they never had it before. That is a common thing that we see. And the longer they allow this to persist, that blurry distance vision becomes more and more permanent.
Nowadays, it's nearly impossible to not look at a computer screen, but you don't have to compromise your vision. For example, make sure your computer screen is at least an arm length away when working, and that you're looking at a slight downward gaze.
He did give me some real simple suggestions that any of us can do. You know, a lot of people stare at the monitor and don't even realize that your eyes are drying up. So you really have to blink. It really, really helps.
It's important to stand up and stretch. And in the same sense, you need to do that with your eyes. So when you're on the computer screen, you know, we go by this 20-20 rule.
The 20-20 rule means this. For every 20 minutes you look at a computer screen, look at least 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds. Also, controlling the screen's glare and having proper lighting can help alleviate CVS. And experts agree that increasing the font size can relax the eyes.
Posture needs to be important and proper. You want to make sure that when you're seated, your feet, both feet are firmly rested on the ground, and you want your forearms parallel to the ground when it's reaching for the keyboard.
And the good news is, the condition can go away once you stop using the computer. But that may be the hardest part. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Shantae Passmore.
Thank you, Shantae. To help alleviate CVS, experts suggest wearing glasses that magnify while you use your computer. Coming up, we'll tell you how some brave women are making strides when it comes to their health.
Let's return to the Rock Around the Block party in the 1950s when hula hooping was one of America's favorite pastimes.
I need to see this
too, I think. Circles are tough. They are tough. Okay. All right. Walk in a circle. Okay. Walk. All right. Hey, do the chicken.
All right, keep going.
Do the chicken.
And parents, if you're out there, clap your hands in rhythm.
I don't see you holding your nose going down. How we doing? Wait. Okay. Now I need you raised with both hands at the same time. Okay? All right? I need you to do the wave like this. You came in first in the hula hoop in your category. Congratulations.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 110 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 600% increase in the last 20 years. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
There's a movement afoot. Arthritis is America's most common cause of disability. Walking just 30 minutes a day can ease joint pain, improve mobility, and stop the progression of the disease. Start moving now to prevent and control arthritis. And let's move together to raise funds for a cure. Join the movement and participate in the arthritis walk in your area. Log on to letsmovetogether.org and start moving today.
The Employee Variety Show is happening in September, so if you work in Torrance and have a talent like singing, dancing, comedy, magic, or acting, or if you'd like to volunteer for the show, you have until August 2nd to register for participation. This is the 13th year for the Employee Variety Show, and over its run, the show has raised more than $90,000 for the fight against cancer. For more information, call Linda Cessna in Community Development at 310-618-5930.
And finally, some cancer survivors are sharing their stories so others can make strides in fighting the disease. Reporter Jennifer Wade explains.
I had a mastectomy, and I went through 6 months of chemo and 35 radiation treatments.
Breast cancer survivor and mother of 4, Donna Bell, recounts her fight against the vicious disease.
Fortunately, the month I was diagnosed, I had also lost my father. So they lost their grandfather, and then they found out their mom had cancer. So my youngest one in particular, he was in middle school actually, and he was not sure if his mom was going to make it.
While battling cancer, Belle's most difficult challenge was staying present and available for her family. And for others, like Gina Calderon, her biggest challenge was facing what cancer would do to her outer appearance.
The things that bothered me was when I first had to shave my head, and it's a vanity thing. And it's the way people stare at you not knowing. But, you know, walking around bald is nothing into comparison to not being here. I'd rather be here bald than not be here at all. My husband also shaved his head. He was bald the whole time I was bald. And I had other family and friends that shaved their heads. Chemo, it's not fun, but you find out who your friends are and what's important in life.
And having beat cancer, both Belle and Calderon are now actively volunteering for the American Cancer Society. They're helping to get the word out about the upcoming Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk in Torrance.
There's no cost, but if you'd like to, get some donations for American Cancer Society, that would be fabulous.
The walk will raise money for breast cancer research, as well as local programs like Road to Recovery, which offers patients transportation to cancer treatments, and Look Good, Feel Better, which provides free wigs and scarves.
Every person's diagnosis is different, and their treatments are different, but we can sympathetically walk together and know that we share that experience.
Along with the walk, it's a day where people can come together, celebrate life, and work towards a cure.
It's really important for us that we make sure that we have good women's health care. We're encouraging all of our patients to get mammograms if they're due for their mammograms. We're even going to be signing up mammograms here at the event.
These women were fortunate enough to survive the battle with cancer. For those who passed, this walk will serve as an honor of their fight. This is Jennifer Wade for CitiCABLE.
Thank you, Jennifer. Torrance will hold its first Making Strides Against Breast Cancer 5K walk at Wilson Park on Sunday, August 21st. Registration starts at 8 a.m. and the walk starts at 9 a.m. For more information, visit cancer.org/strides online. And that's going to do it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
And I'm Jin Chun. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. And what's a party without bubble gum blowing and pie eating contests? Here's a final look at Rock Around the Block. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
For the grown-ups? Oh, yeah. Okay, keep watching them. Jill, hey Jill, get out there. No, come on. Your dog is going to eat your gum.
Almost. Okay, you gotta swallow. You want to take that?